Hello everyone and welcome back to my UK Wine Lab. Well, to answer your question, this wine's from Uruguay in Latin America, close by the coast adjacent to the River Plate, the estuary of the River Plate, where in the Second World War the Germans were forced to scuttle their battleship the Graf Spee after being boxed in by the Royal Navy. Uruguay is sandwiched between Brazil and Argentina. It's often mooted as a place for Americans to retire abroad. The Alvarinho grape is grown predominantly in coastal Spanish and Portuguese vineyards, but it's worked out very well in this Uruguay planting, which I first read about as a top 10 new wines of Tesco supermarkets in the UK. And by the way, I like this wine, and I'm not particularly partial to whites. You can see the taste test a bit later on. Bodegas Brisas is actually, I think, the largest bodega in Uruguay, so they sell to a lot of people, and you can find their Albariños at Wine Club in the US. So I hope you enjoy this review. I enjoyed making it and actually did like this wine, to repeat myself. So please look on and I hope you enjoy it. Okay folks, so before we try our taste test, welcome back. The label asserts that this Albariño grape has aromas of apple, apricot and pear, textured and fruity on the palate, with a refreshingly crisp and elegant finish. They say it pairs with leafy green salads, seafoods, risottos, grilled haddock and scampi. Style is fresh and fruity. And it's from marine terroirs close to the sea on the southeast coast of Uruguay, close by the River Plate, and we'll talk about that in our narrative and the German battleship Graf Spee. Let's see what the nose is like. So let's give this a good sniff, swirl it around in our glass. It's not the strongest nose in the world, but I will say it really is fruity and really quite pleasant. Yes, quite pleasant and fruity. Doesn't hold out hints of an overpoweringly strongly flavoured wine. Okay, let's have a taste. Well, it's a crisp little wine, not overly dry, but not really sweet at all. Definitely getting the apple and pear in there and just a hint of apricot. Folks, I have to tell you, well, you know this if you've watched my wine reviews on this channel. With the exception of Manzaniers, sherries, Georgian Kissy, I'm not that much of a white wine drinker. But I like this. Would I use it instead of my favourite red wines for my evening drink? Maybe. But what I really will do with this is pair it with perhaps a really nice feta and olive and leafy watercress, maybe even salad. Fish, definitely. I may either buy another bottle of this and maybe use it, a little bit of it, to make a sauce for some monkfish, and perhaps show you how that worked out on the channel. But anyway, I'm gabbling, please excuse me. Yeah, this is as advertised on the label. I saw this actually in a newspaper column, and they talked about Tesco, which is a supermarket chain, one of the biggest supermarket chains in England. Not my favourite supermarket by a long shot, But they do often have some interesting wines. And it's also the cheapest place consistently to buy Festino wine, which I think you know is one of my favourite wines. But I will buy some more of this because I'm quite pleased and impressed with it. I seem to recall paying less than £10 a bottle for this. If it was more than 10, it wasn't much more than 10, but I'm thinking it was less. Certainly excellent value for money. And if you were to serve this to your friends, you wouldn't be embarrassed at all. Big thumbs up to Bodegas Brisas, which I believe is Uruguay's biggest bodega. Certainly a fairly industrial rather than a rural winemaker, but you know what? They've done a good job, haven't they? And isn't that a pretty wine label? With that, folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting, and maybe you'll seek out some Uruguayan Alvarinho wine for yourselves. Don't think you'll be disappointed if it's anything like this. We'd love it if you'd like this review, and maybe subscribe if you're interested in our content. And we'd love it if you'd share with your friends. Thanks again, and let's all have a great day in our wine labs.